Wet Leg are a band that we absolutely love here at Indie Miners, and this week they have released a brand new single. It's called Catch These Fists. They've also mentioned that they will be releasing their second album in July. It's called Moisturizer. Today we'll take a look at the new song, also some of the other tracks that have come out on YouTube from a lot of the previous shows that have been about. Al, good morning to you now. This band got the 2022 coveted Indie Miners Album of the Year. My question to you is, could they go back to back with this?
Gee, that's a great question, mate. 2022, geez, that's what, kind of 3 years away. It feels like a long time ago, and the girls have been busy. They've now turned into a 5-piece band out of respect to the other 3 members, which I think is fantastic. They've got a massive touring schedule coming up, and we've heard 7 songs from this album live so far, including the one single that you mentioned before, which is a great song. I'm loving it. It's on the high rotations, but let's be honest, mate, it's big shoes to fill from the first album. Jury's out as to what the end result's going to be, but there's a few particular tracks here that I'm looking forward to hearing recorded, mate. What about you?
Yeah, it is interesting. As I said, there's 12 tracks from that is going to be released in this album. It's going to come out on July 11th. They have been touring with the first album, haven't they? Quite a bit. They only wrapped up the first album touring last year, so they've had the ability to try and record some new tracks. But I've got a bit of a thing about second albums, right? Like sometimes they can be a bit hit and a miss. I think what really riles me though is where a label comes in and they just overproduce the heck out of the second album and it doesn't have the same energy as the first. So that's really what I'm always concerned about.
Do you think that will happen on this particular album? Because they've come out to say they want this to be a fun album live, and from what we've heard already, they seem to be doing that, mate. What do you think the end result's going to be for this album?
Look, it's going to be interesting. We've heard some of the tracks, and maybe we can talk about our favourite tracks that we've heard live so far, but it's really difficult to know. It's really difficult to know from the live versions as to whether it's going to be like some form of an overproduced. It just takes the fun out of the whole exercise. But I can definitely see from the songs that in many ways it is a continuation of the first album in terms of the fun. A lot of songs do sound fun. They do feel as if they're written from the perspective of someone who is maybe slightly jaded. This is what happens when you get a first album and you get famous and all of those types of things. Like CPR, the very first song that will come out of the record, it's a cracking tune. You can see that the whole band are committing to it, but it's also in terms of the themes that it talks about. It like Being in Love is the first track of the very first album. This one is almost the come down version of that song, if that makes sense. So it's almost it comes out with the same themes, but has this really cracking riff to it that you sort of wouldn't mind, getting in the mosh pit or whatever it is to dance along to. I mean, it's been a long time since we've done mosh pits, isn't it? So
it's been a few years for me, mate. You're a regular mosher. I can go off this too, mate. I think Liquidize is a really good song. My favourite probably so far, which I'm really looking forward to hearing the final version, is Davina McCall. I think that's going to be absolutely sensational. And Jennifer's Body as well. I think that'll be another...
I like Jennifer's Body,
another highlight. Now, we get to track 10 and there's a song called Don't Speak. My wondering is, will that be a cover version of No Doubt's Don't Speak? I don't know. Indie Miners, we're calling it here first. It probably won't be, but I don't know. Jury's out there.
Could be one of those sort of breakout singles. You've got to be careful when you do a cover of a song and it gets really popular and then all of a sudden you're just known for this cover, like Ugly Kid Joe, right? Like, so that could be... that's interesting. That's an interesting thought, because we don't really know at the moment. Well, I don't know if that song was written by them or is the actual Don't Speak.
Yeah, I don't know. The jury's out there, mate. But in terms, I was thinking of some reference points of where this band are at, and it kind of reminds me of the band Best Coast. I don't know if you remember them. I mean, they're still around. They are a duo from the US, and they had a massive hit with their first album, and then the follow-up album. It was just such a challenge for them to kind of satisfy all the audience members as well as having a hit single. So I kind of feel like they're in the same position there, but I just have a feeling Wet Leg might come out and hit it out of the park, mate. What are your thoughts there?
Yeah, I was hearing bits of Nirvana, like in some ways
Yeah,
Nirvana
okay.
B-sides, which is actually not it's not a mock. Nirvana did some really cool B-sides, especially Vaporize. It just reminded me of some of the stuff that they used to put on the singles that you used to purchase. But then I was also hearing the Yeah Yeah Yeahs, but also PJ Harvey. PJ
Oh,
Harvey
good
is
call.
one of the influences of the band, so I could see all of those real influences coming to the fore. But that's also what you heard off the first album as well. I mean, the interesting one for me is that they've come out with Catch These Fists, and it does sound like a little bit like Shays Long too, doesn't it? You know, that's what I'm sort of thinking. Which is it's a fun song to listen to, but they've clearly come up with this song as a single track, and hopefully to get attention for people.
And look, that's fair enough. I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with that, because you've got to
No.
remember these guys are still an indie band, but they've also got to get food in the fridge, mate. Like, you know, it's a real hard
Yeah.
dance, the second album, I think, and they've come out to say that they've written these songs from scratch. It's not like they had kind of 24 songs written at the first album and then they kind of banked 12 ready to go. Like, this is pretty hard when you're touring full on as they really are, and they've got a massive schedule coming up, hoping they're going to include Australia, maybe even Tasmania. Doubt it, but I don't know, mate. I'm personally excited. We've only got a few more months to wait. We've got 5 more songs that they'll probably sneak out live before then. Bring it on, I say.
Yeah, bring it on. It, but it is interesting at the moment that we've only heard the songs that will be off side A. So
Right.
this also happens with some bands as well, where they will come up with a cracking side A. You don't hear the side B, and then what tends to be the criticism is that the material does drop off a little bit. So I guess the jury's out. Let's hope not.
Yeah.
I'm really feeling pumped for this album. Let us know in the comments what you're thinking about the tunes that have come out so far. Do you think it will be, I guess, as highly looked upon as the very first album? Let us know in the comments. Also, check out our review of the original Wet Leg album. It was almost like we were babies then. It was 3 years ago, but check it out in the link. See what you think.